Hey guys. Okay, so I've been to quite a few site inspections recently where I've walked in and I've gone, guys, we got a problem. My spidey senses are tingling. I'm getting pre-1911 vibes here. They sort of sit there and go, what are you seeing that we're not seeing? I'm like, when we walked in, the roof form, it was a continuous sheet from the ridge down to the edge of the veranda, or those single sash windows, or as was the case the other day, the front door is just too pretty. In that instance, the designer turned to me and went, pretty? Like, what do you mean by too pretty? I'm like, it's got lots of coloured glass going on. It's really wide, it's really grand, it's just pretty. Now, everyone in that situation goes, so pre-1911, like, who cares? What does that actually mean? And I'm like, wow, got some good news, some not so good news. I mean, the good news is you've got a grand old house here. Like, there's stories that this house could tell if the walls could talk. Oh, amazing, I'm jealous. Yeah, not so good news. You guys are gonna have a rear lean-to roof at the back there. You're gonna wanna remove that roof to extend off the back at a continuous sort of floor to ceiling height. Yeah, I'm here to tell you that roof, it's gonna be protected. You're not gonna remove it. You're not gonna do the extension you're dreaming of. Yeah, they sit there and go, like, hold on, I'm confused. It's okay, guys, come with me. Let's go out the back and let me explain properly. So I thought, hey, why don't I use this week's video to bring you guys in on that conversation, to show you what sort of happens next. Why? Well, firstly, I want to open your eyes to this issue or this problem so that people can start to design for this scenario in advance, so you don't sort of get to me once people are emotionally connected to a design, because it is not fun crushing people's hopes and dreams. In addition though, I want to kind of throw down a challenge. I want to say to you guys, can you come up with a better sort of solution to this problem? I'm not expecting anyone will, because we've been dealing with this issue for quite some time now, a couple of years now. But hey, I thought, throw it out there, you never know. Maybe one designer or architect out there or one homeowner is going to turn around and surprise me and go, I've seen this done before. I've seen how we can properly manage this scenario. So let's do this. What I'm standing in right here, right now, is what would have originally been an open veranda on the rear of the house. So it's got this sloping rear roof form. They're very, very common when it comes to pre-1911 houses. As I suggested before, what everyone wants to naturally do is rip that roof form off and just extend at the same floor to ceiling height to keep the flow going through the house from the old to the new, so you're not sort of jarred and feeling really weird in that transition space. Now, like I suggested, unfortunately, that roof form's protected. It has to be retained as part of any design you do. So how do you retain it? How do you work with that rear roof form? Well, we've probably had three key solutions. I was about to say sushi. Clearly I've got one thing on my mind. Solutions that we come up with day to day typically. None of them are great, but I'm going to talk through them. The first one here's an example I prepared earlier. How convenient, hey? So this first option, what you do is you just extend the roof form at that point in a flat sort of alignment. So it's going to be very hard for you guys to see from this camera angle, but basically we've got flat roof sheeting going here, just extending backwards. Now, obvious issue here, kind of goes without saying, you're going from tall 2.7, 3 meter high ceiling, sometimes even higher, down into a little bitty 2.4 ceiling. It is not good. It does not feel great. But technically it is one solution. Now, the next solution we get thrown at us, I guess you'd say, is the same sort of design, but lifted up. So you bring it up to the 2.7 or the 3 meter high. So you've got the same floor to ceilings in the old and in the new. Unfortunately, you're still going to have that connection point, the weirdness of the connection point, but it does, I guess, overcome once you're in that space, the weird feeling. The new problem you start to introduce though is you need to have a box gutter in this location. So to join the two roof forms. No one likes box gutters. They fill up with leaves, people forget they're there, so therefore they don't clear them out. Therefore it overflows with water and you have water issues with the water coming in. You get what I'm trying to say? Too many waters there. You get the water flowing into the house, causing problems long term. So again, yes, it's a solution, but it's not a good solution. Now, the final one, this example came to me a couple of weeks ago through a designer. At the time I went, that's really cool. I mean, it's not the grand solution we're hoping for, but hey, it's definitely a new way of looking at it. What you do is you basically do that exact same first scenario with the flat roof going back. However, you put a step in the floor. So you step down. That way you get the benefits of having the high floor to ceilings You don't have the box gutter. I mean, it kind of works, right? Now, the issue we have with all three of these scenarios is there is no avoiding the jarring impacts you get when you transition from a flat roof to an angled roof to a flat roof again. Like it's messy. Now, the best way to handle that I've seen so far is to convert this space right here into its own room. So you put the join point in the wall, or you put a wall back here. That way it feels slightly less weird. So you convert this space like a study or a library nook or something like that. The issue we have now is more often than not, these pre-1911 houses, they're in inner city areas. So they're on small lots. When it comes to small lots less than 450 square meters in area, you are limited to a maximum building length of 25 meters. You typically have to have a minimum rear setback of 6 meters. Site cover, maximum 50%, etc., etc. You get the idea. Basically, you're limited in terms of how big your house can be. As a result, you don't have the luxury of saying, I'm just going to push that lounge room back to that join point and I'm just going to throw a study in, why not, for shits and giggles, right? You're limited in how much space, so you're forced to bring these spaces, these rooms, back into this area here, which means you're kind of sitting on your lounge chair watching TV under a weird joint in the roof. It feels weird. I totally understand why people don't want to do this outcome. Because when you're pumping, typically people spend like $500 to $1 million on a renovation on these inner city prime properties. You don't want to have weird, jarring sort of connection points in your roof forms or weird feeling spaces. So I totally get the issue. I totally understand why people feel downtrodden after I come in and have these conversations with them. So there you go. That is the crux of the issue. Basically, that roof form at the rear is going to be protected. How do you retain it and incorporate it into any rear extensions in these major sort of renovations without creating odd feeling sort of spaces? That's the issue. Like I said, the challenge I want to throw out there is, has anyone else seen a better way of dealing with these join points other than the 3 different scenarios I talked through there, which, as I suggested, are not perfect? Yeah, it's a challenging one. If you've got any thoughts, please add them in the comments below. Do a sketch, do whatever you want to do. Let's see if we can come up with a solution together. Okay, I think that covers off everything I want to talk about today. As I always say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.